Greetings fellow pagan pals, Bellarosa here, and we're making egg-shaped candles for Ostara to welcome in the spring equinox. I'm using these fillable Easter eggs as molds for my candles, but some adjustments need to be made to prepare them for the wax. First, we'll make an opening at the top and the bottom of the egg mold so we can pour the wax and release the candle from the mold later. I'm using a box cutter to make the holes. It's easy to handle and has a firm grip. Now I'm not making the cut straight up and down. I'm using these tiny holes on the side here as a guide and slicing into the egg first at a slight angle and then carefully tilting the blade upward so it lays more horizontally. The trick is to keep the tip of the blade inside the egg and rotate the egg as you make the cut. Imagine you're a can opener and find that happy place in the tension. Once you do that, the plastic will carve like firm butter. Be very mindful of your fingers. You are applying a fair amount of pressure here and you don't want to injure yourself. After all the cuts have been made to both sides of your eggs, it's time to glue them down so you can pour. I've used chipboard in the past to make that ancestral candle. It's single layer cardboard and it makes a good base for this kind of project. You can find it in things like cereal boxes and tissue boxes, but I'm using this box from my pancake mix. I'm just going to cut on the top portion here. These pre-coated wicks are perfect for my egg candles, and just for safe measure, I'm sealing all of my eggs with painter's tape around where the two ends meet, just in case there are any leaks. The process of assembly here is pretty straightforward. I'm just putting a dot of hot glue down and pressing the ends of my wick firmly. I just eyeball the placement, setting each wick a couple inches apart from the next. On the bottom of the egg mold, I'm putting a ring of hot glue around the hole before feeding it through the wick and down onto the chipboard. Again, I want to prevent the chance of any wax leaking, so around the base of each egg I put an additional layer of hot glue. The chipboard makes it really easy to bend and get around each egg, but having each egg on its own piece of chipboard would be a good option too. For the wax, I'm just using some leftover wax from a previous project. I used tall soda cans with the lids removed as pouring containers. I have my wax in a pot on the stove boiling in a few inches of water, and I'm also using barbecue skewers to check my wax. I laid some paper down to catch any drippings before pouring, and these paper clips will help with keeping the wick centered. Once the wax is set, it's time to remove the candles from the molds. First, remove the paper clip, then tear the eggs from the paper and use scissors to help remove the glue from the base. Take the tape off each egg and then take your box cutter and wedge it in between the two sides where the eggs meet. Work your way around the egg to help loosen the seal, and you're doing it just enough to get your thumb in there and take off the top. When the top is off, the bottom will just pop right off. All that's left is to trim the wick to 1/4 inch, and there you have it. I can't believe this actually worked, you guys. Some aren't perfect. They aren't the most sophisticated looking candles, but overall I'm really happy with them. Subscribe now, become a pagan pal, like up this video, and I'll see you next time for another episode of My Pagan Pal Crafts and such. Happy Spring Equinox!